Hello and welcome back to Mrs. Z's Art Corner. Today we are going to be going over the single crochet. Hope you enjoy the video. Hello and welcome back. In the previous video we worked on foundation chains, and we're going to be using this foundation chain to work with our single crochet. So let's say I wanted to make a small bracelet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these 5 stitches. I want it to be 5 stitches wide. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To start our first single crochet, we have to chain 1 more. And if you remember, we got our fingers like this, over a pinky, underneath the ring in the middle, above the index. Pinch that last stitch. We're going to make 1 more. Yarn over, pull, turn, pull through. Alright, so now that we've got our extra stitch, so we should have 6. So if I wanted it 7 wide, I would need 8 stitches. If I wanted it 3 wide, I would need 4 stitches. So always put an extra stitch. Oops. Let me get my computer all set up. There we go. So always put an extra stitch because that will become part of our first single crochet. So now that we've got 6 stitches on here, 1 extra from how wide I want it, we're going to take our hook, skip the very first stitch, go into the second. So we're skipping the first one, we're going into the second. So we're going to go into the second just like that. So let me show you again. 1, 2. 1, 2. Here we go. Now that we're inside the first stitch, we yarn over, pull through just that stitch that we went into. And we should have 2 loops on our hook, just like this. Now, pinch underneath both of these loops, and that'll make it really much easier than just one. So pinch under both loops now, yarn over, pull through both. That is your very, very first single crochet. And you can see if you look on top, there's a stitch. So we're going to keep going. We're not skipping stitches anymore. And we've already been in this one, because you could see the extra gap and you could see the yarn going into it. So we're going to go into our next one. So there's our next one. We're going to go into it, pull yarn over, pull through 1. We should have 2 on our hook, pinch under both, yarn over, pull through 2. And there we go, there's another stitch. And we're just going to keep doing this until we reach the last stitch. So into the next one, this will be our third, pull through, yarn over, oops, yarn over, pull through 2. So let's do the last 2 real quick. Do the stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, pull through 2. This will be our last one. Pull through 1, pull through 2. Now it's going to look like you might have another stitch, but that's the bottom of the slip knot. So just ignore that. You won't see that going forward from here. So we should have 5 stitches on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay! We didn't lose a stitch. We didn't gain a stitch. That's great. So now that we're at the end, to get started on the next row, we turn it around. So now we can see the back, but we can still see our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first thing we do is chain 1. Now, not like the foundation, we are not skipping 1. We're going straight into the first stitch. So straight in, and make sure when you go under the stitches from now on, so the foundation stitch, you're only going to 1 of these, but from the first round to the end of wherever you want it to end, you're going to go under both. So make sure you're going under both of these yarn pieces right here, okay? So we're going to, same drill, pull through 1, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there's our new stitch. So let's do to the end of this row. So we go inside the next one, yarn over, pull through 2. In, yarn over 1, yarn over 2, yarn over 1, yarn over 2. Now the last one's always a little bit tricky because it's kind of slumping off to the side. Just make sure that to be careful on this last one to get both of these. So just be a little bit cautious, take it a little bit slower than the rest. Yarn over 2. And there you go. There's your second row of single crochets. And this is the same process as the however many you want. So let's do one more row and then I'll show you how to cast off. So we got our extra one. And then here's another tip as well. The chain one that you use to start every single row, you can either do it before or after you flipped the piece. I like to do it before because it's easier to flip it, but whatever you prefer is whatever you should do. So let's go into that first stitch, yarn over 1, yarn over 2. Yarn over 1, yarn over 2. Yarn over 1, yarn over 2, yarn over 1, yarn over 2. Last one, yarn over 1, yarn over 2. And there you go. That's as big as I want my little square piece. So what do we have to do to get it so that when we pull on this, the whole thing won't fall apart like that? Well, let me get it back up to the end. Let me go quick, lightning fast. So what do we have to do? Well, I'll show you. Let me find my scissors. Oh goodness, where are my scissors gone? Oh, they're in my lap. Alright. So we get our scissors. We're going to cut this. I recommend about 4 or 5 inches at least. When in doubt, go a little bit longer, okay? It's always good to have too much rather than too little. So we're going to yarn over, pull through, but instead of making a stitch, we're going to pull that yarn all the way through. You're going to pull on it to tighten that knot. And there you go. No matter how much you pull on either one of these edges, it will not fall apart. And there's your little bit square. And to finish it off, you can either cut it just like right here, as short as you want, or you can sew it in with your yarn needles, whatever you prefer. I'll be going over the sew in yarn technique with the washcloth project. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. Otherwise, that's how you do the single crochet. Have fun, good luck. Watch this as many times as you need. Comment if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. See you in the next one.